It seems that it's been pretty rare around here as far as the league administrators that I've talked to. One of the guys who's been doing baseball around here for 40 years really only remembers one incident in 40 years. I think one of the things that the parents and coaches are most concerned about is not the coaches, but other parents of kids, who have some of these things in their past, and they're there watching the games because their children are playing. And some of the other parents are just concerned that their children are around, these other parents, not necessarily the coaches. So,
in talking to coaches, they actually were deeply affected by what happened at Penn State from the standpoint of it really bothered them because, 99.9% of coaches in Section 9 are doing the right thing. They care about their kids. So they really took this as a slap in the face, for as far as coaching goes. As far as something like that could happen here, I had many coaches who don't think it could have, ever happen here. I had a few who said, hey, do we think it's happening here? No, but it could happen anywhere. And here in the Section 9, there have been a few incidents in the past that I highlighted in my story, one involving a New Paltz ski coach and a Port Jervis wrestling coach where, they were arrested. But I think the main theme is just the coaches were united and really how disappointed they were for the coaching profession for what happened at Penn State.
Every sport is kind of completely different as far as the youth leagues, as far as how they kind of protect the kids from predators. If you play official sanctioned Little League baseball, everybody is subject to a criminal and a sexual offender background check. But if you play AAU basketball, there really aren't any rules to do that. That's kind of up to the league's discretion whether or not they want to do background checks. So, that's kind of completely up. Every sport is different as far as how they do their background checks, and that's something that the parents need to look into as far as what do the leagues do, how are these coaches vetted as far as background checks and everything. So
the state actually has a great policy in place for background checks. Any employee, teacher, coach must go through a background check and be fingerprinted. So if you have been convicted of any crimes, and not only that, going forward, if you're convicted, the prints would be sent to the school. But as far as changing, I talked to a few coaches who do think about it, especially I think more with males who coach girls. They're just if they're gonna maybe touch the player to help them bat, they'll say, hey, can I help you with that? Do you mind if I put my hands on the bat with you? So that's how they've been affected. As far as rules, there have been no changes, but the state and local, they have some pretty good rules in place.
Some parents, are very concerned about their kids being with coaches and people who they don't really know, and other parents are kind of fine to use these sports almost as kind of a babysitting service where they just kind of drop their kids off and they're not really worried. So I think you kind of have a spectrum of parents who, some parents are very concerned and they're kind of hovering over, watching all the practices, making sure they know the coaches, making sure they're talking to the other parents, and some parents who really aren't that concerned at all.